Hello, everyone, and welcome back. It's been a very, very long time to Lost Through the Rabbit Hole. I'm your host, Josh Myota, and I have some friends and guests here tonight. We have
Hello.
Vincent, Joe next to me, and Jeanette on the bottom corner.
Happy to
Hello.
be here.
How is everybody doing tonight?
Absolutely splendid.
Doing great. Good day.
Doing good.
Awesome. So it's great to be back.
It sure is. 2026.
Right?
Yeah. So how long has it been?
I'm not even sure, like a year or two.
Yeah, it's been the grand opening.
Right? A good time to be back with all everything kind of going on in the world right now.
I
Before we get
heard that
started,
True.
I heard Trump is talking about disclosure of aliens and stuff or something like that.
yes, we are going to get into that tonight, Vincent, for sure.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot about that as well.
I want to know.
It's going to be a good one.
I love the fact that it took Obama to do an interview and be like, yeah, aliens are real. And then Trump got pissed. It was like, we're doing a disclosure. So we might actually get disclosure over like a pissing contest. So,
Oh God.
Do you think it's just going to be a big nothing burger again?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I hope.
But they always keep saying, "Oh, disclosure, disclosure," and then every time they come out with disclosure, they're like, "Blah, blah, 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 blah." "Oh yeah, and that's all we got, folks." And
And
then
that's all we got. And it's like vague. It's like a one pager.
Or
Oh, I think,
it's all redacted.
right, right.
So it ain't real disclosure when there's so much redacted. But, eventually they're going to have no choice. When you've got um, these government officials, like the pilots that work for the Air Force and stuff, and they see stuff that they can't explain and they report it, but yet it gets buried and hidden, you know.
That's so true. I've actually had a couple of military personnel on here that have had experiences. Actually, pretty good friends with one that's used to be a chemical officer during Desert Storm. He was in the army for 20 some years, something like that, and he's got a bunch of experiences. And how are you going to discredit somebody like that?
Yeah, it's just that's just it. You can't. I mean, these guys are trained to report what they see when they're flying in the skies, you know, and they're trained. I mean, to do just that, under pressure, under stress, under fighting conditions, and you're going to disprove them or disbelieve them if they've seen something and they can't explain it. I'd listen.
Absolutely.
I've seen things I can't explain. That's for sure. I don't know how credible I am, but I've seen it.
I've seen some strange stuff, but nothing I can explain either. But not when it comes to UFOs. I'm talking like a cryptid or two. When it comes to, but I've seen some strange, really strange stuff. Because we've got a property here in Wisconsin. There's a good friend of mine, Barnaby Jones, Wisconsin Caps. Okay, he dubbed the
Oh,
property.
I met Barnaby. That's
Yeah.
cool. I actually met
All
Barnaby
right.
as Marinette.
So he dubbed this property the Skinwalker Ranch of Wisconsin. And before, I don't want to say too much, but before the guy got too money hungry, the owner of the property, I was there every year for like 4 years investigating the Beast of Bray Road on that property.
The Beast of Bray Road, that's by Honey Creek, right?
Elkhorn.
Elkhorn, yeah.
Yeah, I heard of that. That's the Wolfman, right? The Wolfman that people were seeing.
Oh,
And-
really?
Yes.
Yeah.
I
It's
used to
like
live
how-
down there.
But I
Huh?
got a,
It's how like stay cryptid.
the first thing I did was we drove down Bray Road, which is about 2.5 miles long, and there's no streetlights on this road whatsoever. So it's very dark. And late at night, very dark, driving by yourself, the mind can play tricks on you. You know, and I could see that happening. And I say that in the videos, you know. But what I saw on the property, the Skinwalker Ranch of Wisconsin property, I can't explain. You know, I've lived in Wisconsin all my life, and some of the things we saw on that property and had happened to us on that property, I can't explain.
Mhm.
You know, and I had a guy that was his name's Dale Kazmarek. He's from Illinois. He's been doing this since 1974. Okay. Paranormal, ghost hunting, you know, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And he came up with me, and so we were there, and we had a bipedal figure on the thermal, and it was in the cornfield that was like running alongside the property, and we were tracking this bipedal figure in the cornfield, and as we were, you know, tracking it, we figured it was following my buddy who was walking down, you know, and it was following him, and he was talking to it, and he was out of earshot. But after all this happened, we were trying to stay there to do this overnight until the sun came up, because that's where all these pictures from the trail cam, because the guy had like 5 or 6 trail cams set on his property, and he rotates them, and that's like that magic hour, you know, 5:30, 6 o'clock, when all this stuff was like triggering the cams. And we had fog roll in super thick and super fast.
Who is with the
5
fog?
in the morning. And we had to pack up our equipment because, you know, the electronics could get ruined from the moisture. But it only took us like 5 minutes to pack all this up, and we're out there with the tiny little flashlights, making sure we got everything, and the fog just disappeared just as fast as it rolled in. It disappeared. And I've never
Wow.
seen anything like that in my life. And the only thing I can figure is the land was telling us to get the hell off before, you know, it started doing whatever it was doing. You
That's
know?
really crazy. One of my interviewers I had a dogman experience in Spokane, and he explained that whole fog thing that you just did. It actually even snowed a little bit, and it was like not time of the year to snow there.
Well,
That's crazy.
I've lived here all my life. I've never seen it roll in that thick and that fast. And I've lived here in Wisconsin all my life.
You missing time 420?
It's a true mystery.
Sorry. Yeah.
Do you still do crypto
So
hunting,
did
Joe?
you get any pictures of it with the trail cams? What did it actually look like?
I didn't get pictures of it with the trail cams because the trail cams aren't mine; they're the property owners. But we got some of them that he took that got taken that he showed us, and we got to take them with us. A lot of that is on the video that we did. We kind of put together like because we were doing the Beast of Bray Road for about 4 years. We put together like what do you call that, documentary,
Mhm.
and then we presented it in Milwaukee for the Milwaukee Paranormal Conference that year. So I was like guest
Wow.
speaker that year for that. But my
So,
guest was the owner of the property, Lee Hampel.
so the Beast of Bray Road, didn't somebody get murdered in that story,
I don't
or is it
think so.
the original story? I forgot how that
The
story went.
original story was that they just got scared. Lady was driving down early in the morning or late at night. It was late at night. She just got off work. She was driving down Bray Road, and she saw something, and she swears it was a dog man because it was up on 2 legs and it took off running. But now you got to realize this was also eating. It was also eating a dead deer. Okay, and when a wolf is eating a dead deer and it looks up at you and does that kind of like thing, again, the mind can play tricks on you. Bray Road has no street lights. At night, it's just completely dark except for the light of the moon if it's clear night and your headlights. That's the only light you got. The houses are too far in to have any, effect on the road. So again, I say something could, misidentification. It's possible here because we've got wolves in Wisconsin, and if you think about it, the they can be pretty big because of the fact is some of those gray wolves, and that's the wolves we have found to have the dire wolf DNA
Mm.
in them. So that means many years ago, before the dire wolf went extinct, they were crossbreeding with wolves.
That makes sense.
Yeah, well, they're
Yeah.
canines.
Yeah.
They
I have
they knew they're
what scientists say is the closest thing to a wolf without being a wolf.
Mhm.
And she's a pain in my ass. I have a purebred Siberian Husky, and she's
Another
oh,
hyper.
all white. So
beautiful.
yeah, she's 8 years old and a pain in my ass. But I've had her since a puppy, so she's kind of spoiled too. So, but
That is awesome.
that was that was the first cryptid story that really got me involved in doing what I do. I mean, I like it all. I like it, even the serial killer, stories, the conspiracy theories. At least the good ones.
Do you
It's a good
still
Yeah,
do
well,
any cryptid hunting?
like the one like Elvis, is he still alive? Stuff like that. But some of these ones people can take too far.
Yeah.
Speaking of Elvis, did you ever see that footage with his eyes?
No, I don't think so.
No. What
There's a
happened?
really, there's just a really creepy video of Elvis. And I don't know if he's on like some drugs or like what the deal is, but he's by a kid and his eyes are like bugging out, and everybody's like freaking out from the 80s.
Man. Oh, it sounds like I'm glad I missed it.
I find myself to be an expert, but I never saw it either. So
I'll send it around if I can, if it's not buried. Do you still do cryptid hunting, Joe?
Well, I can't go down to
So
the.
what is it?
I can't go down to that.
Oh,
property.
cryptozoology is like werewolves, Bigfoot, Loch Ness monster.
Oh, okay.
What if I said I knew another area?
Or to go
So
to,
like
You ever been-
creatures.
see if we had tried to set up there was going to be a really good. It would have been a really good night investigation on this property, but the guy was asking too much money. But it was going to be myself, a guy named Dale Kazmarek, and then you had Chad Lewis, who was going to.
Oh, I met Chad before too. I actually have one of his books.
Yeah, well, I had him on my show, and Emux went to shit, so I got to talk to him and have him back because none of it got recorded or put up on
Oh.
YouTube.
Oh, no. That's so
Yeah, and I didn't find out until afterwards. And it was a really good show because, I've gotten known Chad Lewis. I met him, I don't know how many years ago, but I run into him every year when I go to the paranormal convention in Chicago. And the first time I went to that, I walked through the door and here's Chad Lewis. Hey, come over here. Let's talk. He's constantly flagging me down and trying to talk to me or whatever. Yeah, it was such a See, that's Nick. Nick knows.
Yeah.
And it took me forever because Chad Lewis is such a busy dude, that it took me forever to get him on my show the first time.
Yeah, this guy's hard to get on.
Yeah, I'm already going this year. That's already on my books, Nick.
Nick, are you going to the one in Fond du Lac? You're more than welcome to join us on the live too if you want, Nick.
I don't know. You might not want to.
I know he's got all kinds of comments and follow-ups.
You might not want to come on there because I'll pick on him too much. No, I'm just kidding. Come on here. It's easier, Nick. You should just come on.
It's easier.
You
Come on, speak up.
You can do it.
Yeah, you can do it.
No pressure.
What was the other topic you had today?
I have a lot. So
It was in Fear Fans.
I've had 2 years
What's the
to
link to
figure
Fear Fans?
topics, so I got a lot.
I'm ready.
I don't think I can find the link to it. Yeah, it's in Fear Fans. I'm using my phone on the right to send it to
I
you.
don't know
Nick.
much about the politics stuff that's going on, but what are like some conspiracy theories that are coming to light or coming, I guess, are being revealed? What are the top conspiracies that are busted, I guess?
Pretty much all of them.
Yeah, what's your favorite? So what's your favorites then that are
None of
finally?
them.
I mean,
They're horrible.
obviously the extraterrestrial ones. Like everyone's excited about that
I send
one.
it directly to you.
Yeah, hopefully they don't. It's not all like Starship Troopers. When that sucks, it's just like giant bugs that are coming after us. That's like what Trump reveals.
Oh yeah!
do you
Oh my
guys-
gosh!
How do you guys
How do
feel
you-
about this secret space programs?
I try not to watch the news too much.
Same. That's why I'm like, fill
What
me in.
what are you referring to as,
My
Vincent?
buddy and
Like,
I were talking. When we started our podcast out. We started it out, and in 2017, yeah, and we were, had a bad rating because we talked politics and religion. So now those are two things that are like taboo. I don't do those two things no more. and everything in 2019
Oh,
got switched to paranormal.
Gotcha.
there we go. Hey, Nick.
Hey, guys, how you guys doing?
But then when we switched to
Great.
paranormal, it got known as the insane asylum.
Haha.
Yeah.
Interesting. Very catchy.
Here's our graphic. I take this off my. Here. There's the graphic.
Works with your special patch, Joe, just like mine.
All right. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, I was going to ask you what's the story behind your hat because you've got that skull on your hat as well. So that's like a
story behind
logo.
my hat. I mean,
Uh,
when I saw it on Amazon, I'm going, oh, that looks a lot like my logo because I designed.
Yeah.
See that I designed. The hat I didn't, but I
Uh-huh.
found the hat and it looked a lot like the logo.
Very cool.
Yes.
It does. It's perfect.
It's awesome.
Oh, hello, Nick. Welcome in.
But,
How you doing?
Great.
Logo is now just me. So
How's things going with you, Joe?
not too bad. I'm looking forward to about what is it? The next March 14th. I'm taking a trip to Michigan.
Oh, that's right. You got your trip coming up. That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm hoping to have the truck done some more.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You know, you guys got to see my truck. If you're in that day if you're in Fond du Lac that day for that, because I've already got tickets. I'm going one way or the other. So I already got my tickets. I'll be there. It's May 9th, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, as far as I know, I should.
You'll
be
love
going
this.
to-
You'll love my truck.
What's that?
They'll love my truck, won't they?
Oh, yeah. I'm sure they will.
These guys are from Wisconsin.
I am.
What?
I am. She's not.
Yeah, no, I'm south. I'm south. Little
But
Tennessee.
wow.
Well, you're even further south than me.
Yeah.
But I got a Police Interceptor Ford Explorer edition. 2000.
Nice.
I was gonna say, is it some like Ghostbusters thing or what's so
No,
cool?
because the Ghostbuster, the Echo One, I see that all
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah, those are cool.
Yeah.
My wife gets all the credit and stuff, but it's got the logo and stuff that I just showed you on the side doors, you know, and it's all black and white. So it looks like a squad car, but it's got our own decorations on it. You know.
That's cool.
Very cool.
Sounds pretty cool.
Yeah. Excited to see that.
Yeah.
Either way, I'm looking forward to seeing it this year, Joe. It should be exciting nonetheless.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see if Jack lets me park it in front again.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hope the weather gets nice so that I can finish decorating it.
Yeah.
It's snow.
Yeah,
over,
we
it's snow over where you are, Joe, because it snowed over here for
Nope.
a short period. Yeah,
Nope,
it snowed over here.
it hasn't snowed over here yet. It's supposed to, but
Yeah.
we got like a little dusting.
Yeah, that's what we got. I mean, it wasn't a lot at all. It was just kind of a dusting, just covering the ground, and that was it.
Puffy loved that. But
I'm not surprised.
We got like 6 inches over here. It was fun walking through that.
Oh boy.
I'm
You're
waiting
closer
for
to
it to
Nick
go
than
away.
me.
Well, I'm lucky. I just got rain. Sorry.
You know, if you ever get to a place in Tennessee. Where is it called? Scott County Jail.
All right. What is it? Is it got some stories?
It is. It actually got saved by a couple of people that I know. All right. But it's got some stories and stuff like that. But what is it? Miranda Young
Oh, Miranda Young. Yep.
and Dr. Christy Sumner saved the place from being demolished. So,
And
but if you look them up,
yeah, what jail is it called again?
it's Scott County Jail, and it's
Guy
in
County.
It's in Tennessee.
Okay. I'm gonna look it up. Thanks.
So, but yeah, I that's one place I would go if I was down that way. But I haven't got that far yet.
Cool. I'll have to go and take some pictures and like repost it on this chat or whatnot.
Yeah.
Be like, there you go. I'll look it up.
Another place I'd like to check out down in Tennessee. I mean, I've actually been requested to come down there myself. And it's obviously one of the state's most notorious sites, and that's of course undoubtedly the Bell Witch Cave. But I'm also interested if they ever do open it up for investigations and for the public overall, is the Tennessee State Penitentiary. I know there's there's the other one, the Smoky Mountain one. I think that's what it was called. But there's another prison that's been closed for over like 20, 25 years. And I'm really curious to see. Only one paranormal show ever went to the Tennessee State Penitentiary, but it looks like a really interesting prison to investigate.
Oh, interesting.
You know,
Right.
Man, that's a lot. I had no
Yeah, it is.
idea that was all here. I mean, you hear about like there's tons of battlefields and memorials like that, but oh my gosh, very cool.
I think I'd rather do the prison first.
Oh, the
Yeah.
Tennessee
Because
State
I've never done a prison yet. You know, that's one thing that's on my bucket list. And the one that's like high on my bucket list is Joliet.
I knew you were going to say Joliet.
That's because, hey, you know, I'm old enough to know who those people were in the original Blues Brothers movie.
Yep.
You know, John Belushi was one of the original Saturday Night Live casts, you know.
Yeah.
That's right.
But no, I mean the Blues Brothers, you know, that whole thing. And I've been down there near it and everything, but it's been under like renovation or whatever. But they just reopened it up or stuff. I don't know. I just know that I saw something down there last time, and
last time that I recall, because believe it or not, I was actually one of the very first investigators to investigate Joliet Prison when they first opened back in 2018 for the tours and the paranormal investigations. So, unfortunately, regrettably, the times that we were there, it only lasted for such a short period that they pretty much threw us out the very next month because of a lot of different reasons. Therefore, I'm not really sure what's going on with the tours and I don't even know if they're doing the investigations anymore, but I know they're still doing the tours.
They had something about, you know, the sign. There was a sign up when they were reopening back after they did some of that renovations.
Yes.
To make it safe again.
Right. Because I knew that prison had to go through a lot of restorations when they first opened it.
I remember a story that I swear when Dale came on the show, he's like, "Oh yeah, we were like you could go parts of it was flooded, and you know, he was saying like parts of it were flooded with water.
Wow.
Well, and
Yeah.
I also recall
And
too, even
that must have been just before it closed to get all that renovation that went on for years.
yeah, yeah. And when I first started going there and started helping out with the tours, I don't know if you guys have ever heard, there was just when they first opened it up back in 2018, it was just a year after there was some vandalism that occurred within the prison. There were two teenagers, two kids that were like 15 and 17 years old that broke into the prison illegally, of course. And they ended up, I don't know if it was intentional or if it was accidental, but they ended up lighting one of the buildings, which I think might have been some kind of a former warehouse, I think, set it on fire. And of course they escaped, but didn't take long for the police to find them. They were both arrested for arson, of course. When we got there, a year after that whole incident, the building was still standing, but a good majority of the roof had caved in because of the resulting fire. Now, thankfully, as crazy as it's going to sound, it was fortunately not one of the original structures of the prison. This one was built much later, so this wasn't really a building of historic value, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. That makes sense. We need to go on an investigation, Vincent.
Let's do it.
No, that'd be
haven't-
cool.
I
Always up for one.
I used to do it all the time. Actually,
You
in
know-
Illinois, Galena was our town that we were always investigating.
Oh, I love Galena.
I've got a list of places that I still got to hit this year, and I'm going to do it just me and my wife because, like I said, I told
So
somebody.
do you guys have all the cool tools to check out the frequencies and all the infrared cameras and night vision and all that too?
I got quite a bit,
Yeah, yes, yeah, I do too.
So we
That's definitely something cool to record.
When
you
I
guys
went
be
down-
interested in doing a CE5?
when I went down to what was it? Where was that? Milwaukee.
I would be down to see.
When I went down to Milwaukee, I got the idea. I saw Josh Gates. You all knew who Josh Gates is,
Gates.
right? I saw him in his little concert tour. Let me tell you, that guy's one big stoner. I'll tell you that much. He was. But anyway, I got the idea because Barnaby Jones, like I said, he dubbed that property the Skinwalker Ranch of Wisconsin. And I still have not got the chance, but I purchased compasses after that thing with Josh Gates because he gave me the idea. Go out there on that property with a compass and see what would happen. If it goes kind of wacky or not, because it's supposed to be kind of like the same property out in Utah. A lot of things happening on that property all at once. Everything from portals to, there was this really weird picture. And if my hard drive, I'm not a very organized person when it comes to my computer. I am a computer person though. But I got the picture. It's probably on the external hard drive, which is turned off. But there's a picture of an object in the sky. It was taken about 7:45 a.m. Okay, because these, those cameras have all got, dates, timestamps, and everything on them. And it looked like an actual dragon.
Ah, that's cool.
At Skinwalker Ranch or the one in Wisconsin?
The one here in Wisconsin.
Huh.
I mean, some of the pictures I have from that place, from the trail cams, would make you want to go there and investigate the place. Because you can't explain these pictures. I've lived here all my life. I've lived in Wisconsin all my life. You know, I know wildlife. I know what's here. I used to hunt way up north in Adams Friendship. You know, when I used to go deer hunting up there, you know, and I went further north for other things like concerts and stuff, you know, outdoor concerts and stuff. And you know, you get into the area where you got black bear and you've got wolves and you've got coyotes are everywhere.
Yeah.
But
That's up by me. I'm right by Friendship Adams. I'm in Marshfield.
I have never seen anything like that in the sky. And to me, it looked like a dragon. You know?
Well, you know, all in history, you've got those ancient buildings that have those gargoyles and things like that. You have to just wonder, like, where that probably came from something, you know, that was actually witnessed, or there's some truth behind those, and that's way back in history. So,
Well, there's a little bit of truth to, I think, just about every legend.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I would agree. I would agree. Yeah.
Except for, let's take the one that was what was it, Rylander, the Hodag.
Oh,
Yeah, the whole thing's
I knew you were gonna bring
definitely
Yep, yep.
Now that was made up to boost tourism to Rylander. Okay, back in I don't know what year it was, but
It's like the
ever
40s.
since then, people have claimed to see this beast, and this thing is a beast. I mean, if you were to see a picture of the Hodag, you'd be like, "What the?" You know?
It's their high school mascot.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And they got a big
They're taking it overboard.
It's the real football team that has been lost.
statue in the center of town. They've got a big statue in the center of town. But
Yep.
here's the thing.
Those green monsters.
Back in the like 1930s or whatever it was to boost tourism. Okay. In that time, people have claimed to see this thing in the woods and so on and so
Well,
forth.
one dude caught it. He had it, and then he burnt his barn down when
But
he had it showing.
there's something.
Yeah.
Now there's that thing. It's a topa, where it got so many people to believe in it that it came to be. Okay, and that's one of those things that could be happening there. You know, so many people have believed in this thing for so long and for so many decades that it came to be.
That's like the same thing that's going on right now with even.
Did I say that right? A topa?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that's like the same exact thing that we're seeing, like with recently with Slender Man, where it started off as nothing more than a mythical, impossible figure, and now all of a sudden people are actually starting to report seeing a figure resembling Slender Man. I mean, obviously not.
Well,
it's not bad enough. You know, you not only have people who believe in it, but I'm sure, as all you guys know, from over a decade ago, there were even kids out there that were willing to
from my state. That happened here, actually, in Fond du Lac.
That whole situation with the
Didn't
two
that
girls
happen
trying to
in
murder their friend
Kenosha
to
or
become
something?
like, what's that?
Didn't that happen in Kenosha?
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
it
well,
I thought it was Waukesha. Waukesha.
Oh, Waukesha.
Yeah,
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 that's
it was Waukesha.
it's called the Waukesha stabbing. The two 12-year-old girls try to stab their friend as a sacrifice.
And blamed it on Slender Man.
It's
Yeah,
just
they
like,
were doing it to become Slender Man's proxies.
Yeah.
And that was, and believe it or not, if you guys didn't know this, that wasn't the only isolated incident that occurred. There were actually 3 more cases that followed. One
Wow.
which yeah, two others were also involving kids. And one was involving a couple, I think, like in their 20s, I think, but they weren't.
Yeah.
They all occurred in different states. The second one I heard, I believe it was in Ohio. I think it was in Ohio. The third incident, I think, was somewhere in Las Vegas, Nevada, and the fourth and final incident was down in Florida.
They always say what Slender Man was based off of this old wood carving from like medieval Germany, and it did look kind of like him, except that it was like dawn and night armor.
He just reminded me of Night Before Christmas or whatever.
And so he's the legend is that he's lived this entire time since then, since those ancient times.
Well, the whole German one was like it fed on people with like PTSD.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, it was usually like messed up soldiers,
right,
from the night era, actually, and that's what it hunted. And then somehow that creepypasta came out, and then the game came out, and then the stuff started happening.
Then he had that movie that came out, which I did see when it first was released.
Me too.
Which I will admit was really bad, although I will give praise to the actor who played Slenderman, because he was played by Javier Cortez, or no, I think I'm saying his last name right. Whatever his last name is, but that was the only good thing, because he's always played a number of different monsters throughout different horror movies. That was the only good thing out of that movie was him.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, it's very predictable. It didn't really scare me, or it didn't. Although I will admit, though, I mean, not surprisingly, when that movie did come out, which at that time was had not even been a full decade since the stabbing. I believe the parents of the girl who was attacked almost 10 years prior were not happy with the movie's release.
No,
it was just kind of one of those classic moments. It was like too soon.
Yeah, marketing.
Yeah,
how it is in our country.
She's sad though.
Yeah, she survived.
I mean, yeah.
That other girl, we recently had an incident with her where she escaped.
Yeah, yep.
What's the latest gossip on the crazy world?
Yeah, that's because they put her in some place. It was like minimum security in Sun Prairie. In Sun Prairie, and they didn't even want her there in the first place.
Well, she was supposed to go somewhere else too, and there was like a big protest about it, and so they kind of quietly moved her to Sun Prairie.
Yeah, I remember that. You know, I'm not too far from that, so when I watch the news, local news, I'm watching it out of the Milwaukee area, and because Madison News does not report the weather for my area, so I have to watch it out of Milwaukee.
Okay.
Which makes it, I got family in both places, but my oldest daughter lives in Milwaukee. So every time they hear a killing in Milwaukee, which is almost every day, I'm like, okay, phone gonna ring?
Yeah, that's like the same over here too. I mean, I live in Chicago, so there's always a lot that's going on in the Chicago area. So
I'm from Milwaukee.
Sorry, what was that?
Said I'm from Milwaukee.
Oh, you're from Milwaukee? Okay.
Yeah, I'm still not done with Milwaukee, and I'm not done with Chicago yet either. There's a lot to do on my list for those places.
Just to respond to, I'm not sure who Missing Time is, saying that he never heard about the other cases. I know he's referring to the other cases. I was saying the Slender Man. Yeah, throughout 2014, there was like 3 other cases that occurred. Like I said, just to go into a little detail so you guys don't know, One that occurred in Ohio. I think it was involving a boy. I think this time he was like a 13-year-old. He tried to stab his mother, and when the police later investigated, they found Slender Man memorabilia around his room. So he had a whole bunch of he had a huge interest in it. The third, so that was the second case. The third case, like I said, it was involving a couple that I think it was involving a robbery or something, and the police were chasing them. They cornered them. They locked themselves. I think it was like in some kind of closet or a storage room or something. And the guy of the couple was dressed up as Slender Man. And realizing that there was no way to escape. Either they were going to get arrested or they were going to get shot at. They actually ended up taking both of their lives. They killed themselves before the police.
What? Wow.
That was the only time where somebody was actually killed as a result of Slender Man. And then the fourth and final case was, this time it was a 14-year-old girl who tried to set her mother's house on fire along with her little brother. Fortunately, though, her mother and brother got out of the house before they could be killed as a result. And once again, they found out she had a fascination with Slender Man.
Do you think that was honestly a case, or was just lazy police work at the time?
It's hard to say. It really is.
I mean, honestly, even the guy dressed as Slender Man, it could have just been, like you said, they were doing robberies.
Yeah.
You know, Slender Man is spooky. This, you want this scare tactic effect. Why not, dress as something creepy as you're taking money? I don't know.
That too. Not to mention you're hiding your identity when you do such things like that. Typical of a robbery.
Well, I mean, during COVID, they made everybody wear a mask, so who knows who is robbing who?
Right.
Right. But this was even prior to COVID. This was probably like back in.
That
No,
was
this was
the
about
worst.
that same time.
That was the worst time of my life.
COVID.
During COVID,
Yeah.
You know why?
that was rough.
I ended up being completely isolated from the world. Okay. See, the difference between me and you is myself. I was diagnosed with AML December 4th, 1995. I died 5 times, maybe 6. But anyway, I had an out-of-body experience during one of those times. That's what makes me believe and keep an open mind on a lot of things nowadays. But anyway, I'm not supposed to be here. I'm past my expiration date. I had a bone marrow transplant. It was only supposed to give me about 10 years. This was all before medical stuff. The advancements weren't quite what they are now. So I became disabled because of it. But I don't have quite the immune system that I did have. It was wiped out completely. I had to take something like 18 or 19 pills 2 or 3 times a day. And it was like taking a meal, because a couple of those pills really stunk to all high heaven. But those pills were my immune system. So
Yeah.
I was more susceptible to getting COVID. So I decided, okay, I ain't leaving the house.
Yeah.
For no reason, I mean, I didn't have to. My parents were already dead. My mom was the last one to go, and she passed away in 2013. So, no reason to go out. I didn't go nowhere the whole time. But when I did have to go somewhere, I hated wearing them damn masks.
Yeah.
I think everyone
think
did.
about it. I mean, you guys with facial hair, you get it. It's harder to
Yeah.
got all this facial hair and you got to wear a mask. You know. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it. I mean, I didn't like it either, but of course, I had, I did it out of respect, especially for my parents, safety and well being. So it was just the right. Of course, when I was by myself, like I am right now, I would have it off.
Well, that's what you're supposed to do. You're by yourself. You're in your own home. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Excuse me. Sorry.
No, it's all good for an adult show.
You know how to. I figured how to fix my mask when it breaks.
But
I said
the sad thing,
masking tape.
Yeah,
the
I'm
hardest
actually just
thing
going to say
for me
it
was
kind of a. Go ahead, Joe. Go ahead.
I'm a grandpa. I've got grandkids. So during that time, I couldn't see my grandkids, because I didn't
Oh, yeah.
have a chance of getting sick. If I would have got COVID real bad, it could have ended up killing me or put me in the hospital in intensive care. And at that time, the hospitals,
right.
they weren't
You won't
too
get
great
out.
either.
As crazy as it's going to sound, it was actually partially, at least was kind of a blessing in disguise because it kind of worked out for me though. But I actually remember that year on Halloween, we were allowed to dress up at our workplace, and the character I was dressing up, I mean, it was a fictional demon character from a game, and it turned out they actually had facial masks of his grin. So regardless whether I had to wear it or not, it didn't matter because I had the mask of that character on my face. So it was essentially not only protecting myself and others, but it was also acting as part of the costume.
Mhm.
There you go. It's a good way to do it.
It all worked out in the end, but no. Apart from that, though, no. I think we've all had our rough moments when COVID really struck.
Yeah. We were vacationing in Florida when it started at Disney World. Actually, and then
Oh, wow.
started. Yeah, the weekend it started. Yeah.
I think it was
Luckily,
like
we were able to get on our flight.
oh, yeah. Yeah. You made it in time for those.
Yeah,
they
we were scared.
Started that. That was a mess.
But it was
With the
funny. I was
plane.
calling all my friends, and I was all like, "Dude, everybody's freaking out and buying toilet paper. Like, go get your toilet paper."
Out of all things, toilet
Shut up,
paper.
Josh. You don't know what you're talking about. And I was like, "Bro, I'm at the grocery store right now. Go listen to me.
Empty.
I'm in Wisconsin." They're like, "You don't know what you're talking about." I was like, "Okay."
That was something else. I actually went to the store once and saw people with cartfuls of, before they even started, Walmart and them stores around this area started limiting, the purchases. But the thing is, when COVID was all over with, these people were on, and I shit you not, I remember looking it up because somebody said something and I'm saying you're full of, they were selling the toilet paper that they bought on eBay for outrageous amounts of money.
Yeah.
That's not a
Yeah.
right.
What's up, Rob? Hey, Joe, if you didn't see Robert's watching, I just recognized the battle liner. That's Robert. What's up, Rob? Yeah, that's what's up, Robert? You're telling me to go to bed.
And you guys have a comment too from Libra Poet who's like, COVID was a scam and a military operation. I feel like there was definitely something hidden behind there that had an agenda for sure.
It didn't get me. I didn't get no COVID shot. I'll tell
Oh
you
yeah,
that.
no. And I didn't get vaccinated either like that. That's no.
So
I
to
believe
be
in
honest,
natural evolution.
so to be honest, I did get it, but again, it was for my parents more than anything else. It
Well-
was again, it's just the right thing to do. So,
I
but even then, I still have gotten it twice. No vaccine can truly make you immune from anything. It might slower the risks, but it's not truly going to decrease it.
see, I don't have to worry, and I'll tell
You're
you
a vampire.
why.
yeah.
Why?
Yeah, you've cheated death 5 times.
And I smoke way too much pot for anything to stay long.
That kettle's
You have
down
an
to
aura,
zero.
you have a plant aura around you.
And you know what? I read recently that it's scientifically proven that it kills cancer cells. They've
Yeah.
proven that too.
I can believe it. Dig it.
Believe me, I'm a big advocate. I was back in high school. I used to smoke it, man. I was stoned my entire senior year, and I graduated. See, the thing is, they say, "Oh, pot makes you stupid," right? No, you're just stupid to begin with, and it makes you even more stupid. Thing is, my senior year, I spent 90, I'd say about 95% of the time stoned my senior year. Okay. And I graduated honor roll,
Nice.
and that was a Madison school, so that was a little tougher than going to like a small town school no, it wasn't easy to pull off.
It wasn't easy to pull off.
Well, I probably could have been a
Talent in itself.
I probably could have been a straight A student, but I didn't want to think too much.
You weighed out the pros and cons on that one.
Sure.
Yeah.
But now here's the thing. After I graduated, I went into to college and I took police science and I was going to become a cop and all of this, right? And in the meantime, I was working security and I was a private investigator. I worked for one of the oldest law enforcement companies in the entire world, Pinkerton. Okay. I was
Excuse
I
me.
was an on-site supervisor for them. So I quit, I quit doing because I was doing it all for recreational in high school anyway. So I quit. And, they say, oh, it's a gateway drug to other drugs. Wait a minute. I didn't do anything else and I have never done anything else. Where's it a gateway drug? That I never understood,
Propaganda.
Well, it's not addicting. Otherwise, I couldn't quit just like that and, do what I did because I had to pass not just background checks and stuff like this, but I had to do drug screening. I had to go through drug screening. So I had to pass all of that to go to these places that I went to and worked for. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to get the licenses that I got. But that all leads to, what I do now makes it even easier because, over the years, I learned how to read people pretty well. I also drove cab for a living for about 4 years after I was diagnosed with leukemia till I couldn't do it anymore. But I learned how to read people extremely well. And that makes this job a lot easier doing what I do. When you're talking to a witness, you can tell if they're bullshitting you or if they're honestly believe what they're telling you. They believe it too,
Yeah.
So, or if they're just looking for their 5 minutes of fame.
Mhm.
Well,
Yeah,
unfortunately,
it comes down to the
you got
podcast.
those individuals out there who try to do that.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of them,
Yep.
you know. But, you know, you got to investigate sometimes until you figure it out.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I thought there was one that was like pulling my leg just because she was related to me. I went to her house and we were like kind of asking all these different questions and stuff like this. And then later I did some history and background on the property, and it's all legit. I mean, where she lived, the house was actually one of the houses that it was part of Ringling Brothers and Barnaby Bailey, the circus in Baraboo. Okay. And and
Didn't that
so,
circus start in Baraboo?
yeah,
Yeah,
That's cool.
that's
like the
where it all
birthplace.
started.
Yeah.
It's right there. So you go back in time when the circus had the freak shows. All right. A lot of the land in Baraboo was owned by Ringling Brothers and Barnaby Bailey Circus and all of that. And they
Can I
had this,
interrupt you real quick too? They're both really embedded with Freemasonry. The
yeah.
whole, yeah.
Ah. Uh-huh.
But the whole freak show thing had their own little community right there. And where this house was, it was one of those, houses that, so this land had a lot of history as well, because that I'm trying to think of a nice way to say it, but they took a lot of abuse back in the day, because people
Yeah.
didn't understand the freak shows and the freaks and stuff. So they were all together on these different houses up in that land in that property area, and they weren't treated very well. So you can imagine what went on there, So that land, I believe, has just got some history enough to make some paranormal activity happen.
Well, and I could compare with another location like that too. It was what you were talking about before I came on here, Joe, when you were talking about that area of Wisconsin, saying it's like the Skinwalker of the Midwest.
That's Elkhorn.
Skinwalker Ranch of the Midwest. Excuse me.
That was Elkhorn, yeah.
Oh, Elkhorn, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a similar spot like that also down. Obviously, it's nowhere near close to me because living in Chicago, to go from here to this would take me about a good 6-7 hour drive. But it's actually down in southern Illinois. And southern Illinois, they have for starters, when you think of Illinois, obviously, you would immediately think of Chicago. You think of the big city, of course. But when you go down to southern Illinois, because I've been down there a few times myself,
Metropolis.
It's a completely different world down there. It's more farmland.
First thing I think of is Metropolis.
Yeah. Well, it's more farmland, but you almost forget the idea that you're still in the state of Illinois. You think you would either be kind of like, because it resembles like what you see in Wisconsin or Indiana or Kentucky or parts of Tennessee or Missouri, or Arkansas. So, but they have had, for starters, I actually have learned that Southern Illinois actually has a much older history than Northern Illinois does. In fact, some of the history in Southern Illinois even predates not only before Chicago was founded, because Chicago was founded back in 1837. So over 10 years from now will be Chicago's 200th birthday. But that history also goes as far back even before Illinois became a state. But in addition, it's also had its own share of cryptid activity. You have, and Chad Lewis wrote a book on one of those creatures, in fact. In addition to the typical Bigfoot and at times Dogman sightings that also occur in that part of the state, you also have sightings of thunderbirds You have a creature that was known as the Enfield Horror that was seen in Enfield, Illinois, during the spring of 1973. And ironically enough, that same year, you also had the Big Muddy Monster, or Murfreesboro Mud Monster, which was named not just because of its appearance, but there actually is a river called the Big Muddy River that runs just outside of Murfreesboro, which is a tributary to the Mississippi River.
I think that's his newest book too.
Yeah, it is. They just had their first Big Muddy Monster Festival down in Murfreesboro about 3 years ago, which was on the 50th anniversary of the original sightings that occurred during the summer of 1973. And I actually wanted to go down there myself, but unfortunately, I just didn't have any way of getting down there. They just, much like you
gotta learn to drive, Nick.
Yes, I know.
You don't drive, Nick?
Yeah, but no, but I'm working on it though. But now, like, kind of giving another comparison, much like you'd see, like with the Mothman of Point Pleasant, where they also have a festival for that too, along with that 7-8 foot tall golden statue. They now have a statue for the Muddy Monster. You go down to Murfreesboro today, and they made it based on the witness descriptions that were going on. But there's just a lot of that. In fact, that is an area not just revolving around the creatures, but just a lot of the other things that have been reported, like a lot of ghostly apparitions, UFO sightings, portals. This was one of your areas where before the modern era, because also in addition, you have the Shawnee National Forest, primarily in that part of the state. Now, it's funny. You see, there's actually been like television commercials, like your typical tour spots, like saying, hey, come check out Shawnee National Forest, all these nice hikes and stuff like that. But centuries ago, and even to some of the locals to this day, it is an area that many of them typically avoid because of all the activity. It's been greatly feared by the Native Americans that live there. And like I said, it is even still feared by some of the locals. Some of those locals you'll talk with refuse to go over there at any time. And during the early days too, the early European settlers that arrived in that part of the country, both them and the Native Americans later referred to that area as the Devil's Kitchen because
I've heard of that.
Unholy. It was really bad. And if that's not enough, if you guys didn't know this too, the crescent of Southern Illinois has also been long referred to as Little Egypt. And now the reason behind that was because anybody who reads the Bible attentively knows very well that Egypt does not get good press. It's a region of darkness and superstition and oppression. And very much, in a way, it's kind of true for that southern part of the state.
I heard that they have crystal mines at Southern Illinois too.
Yes, they do. Another notorious fact, and it's like every time I think of Southern, you can't think, when it comes to history, you can't really think of Southern Illinois without a true horrific tragedy that occurred, not in the entire part of it, but in several towns of the state. See, in addition to my history, I'm also I also have a huge fascination with weather and severe storms. I've been actually interested in wanting to go storm chasing, but
I've noticed.
That part of the state, and this may sound hard to believe because it's a well-known story, but there's still others out there that still don't know about it. Back in 1925, that was actually where the deadliest tornado in American history struck, which became later known as the Great Tri-State Tornado, which struck on March 18th, 1925. And like I said, it's still the deadliest single tornado in American history. 695 people were killed by that single tornado. And obviously last year was the 100th anniversary, which ironically enough, one of the towns that tornado struck was Murfreesboro. So Murfreesboro's also had a lot of history as a result. And another record, world-breaking record of this tornado is that it's also, as far as we know, even though we don't have all the, it's from what we've collected, it's also won the record of having the longest path of any tornado ever. It actually traveled through 3 states: southern Missouri, Illinois, and Indiana. The record path of the length of the path is a record 219 miles, although it may have actually been 10 or 15 miles longer than that, bringing the full path to 234 miles. But out of all the 3 states, southern Illinois, in southern Illinois itself alone, 613 died.
That's wild. You ever make it to Wisconsin during the springtime? I'll go chase a tornado with you, Nick.
I'd be all, I actually did have this interest, and again, I in fact I did a presentation in regards to the 100th anniversary of the tri-state tornado of 1925, and I had a huge fascination with this. It would be very difficult to do, but I think it's something that no one has done yet. I've had the idea of wanting to retrace that entire path of where the tornado struck when it first started back in southern Illinois, all the way up to southern Indiana. And I even found out on the anniversary of the tornado, there was a gymnasium that I forgot the name of the gymnasium, but the gymnasium that was, I think it was oh man, I can't remember the town's name, but the gymnasium at that time was a brand new building, you know, when the tornado struck. It was built just the year before in 1924. It was primarily, and while it wasn't hit by the tornado itself, it was primarily used, unfortunately, as a morgue for a lot of the victims that were killed. So many bodies were placed into the building, which also I think was even not only a gymnasium, I think it was even partially a schoolhouse.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That changes the energy completely.
Yeah. So from what what I remember hearing about, I'm actually looking it up right now just so I could refresh my memory. It was
I go chasing a tornado in Wisconsin. I've done it before, except this time I just give me a little time and to just make my truck a little tougher. I mean, it's already got extra weight because I said it's, you know, Police Interceptor edition. You know, we actually bought it from a car dealership. So.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I think I found it. It was the Ribeye Gymnasium, and that is located in the town of New Harmony, Indiana.
New Harmony.
Yeah, New Harmony. So, yeah. So says the dead and dying were brought to New Harmony. The dying were attended to be on the then brand new gymnasium floor, the same place where kids played basketball, and the dead were placed in the basement and acted as a temporary morgue.
Where was this?
Wow.
Where was this?
This was in New Harmony, Indiana, of where the gymnasium is, and that's where they took some of the victims of the tri-state tornado. And you might even find this a little bit hard to believe. I mean, for ever since then, not only has it had a reputation of being haunted, I mean, it is still to this day primarily used as a gymnasium. And it's even, and believe it or not, it's even been featured in a movie, in the 1992 movie A League of Their Own.
Wow.
Yeah, if you guys ever seen that movie, the gymnasium scene, that is the Ribeye Gymnasium.
No, wow. Where she hits the ball.
Wow.
Yep, that's correct. And they've opened it up for investigations ever since. So we've been trying to get down there. In fact, Joe, if you didn't know, Jeremy obviously is interested in wanting to go down there at some point. And I actually gave him all the town because he wanted to know exactly where, you know, I wanted to know all the town names of where the
11.
tornado struck, and I gave a whole list. But
I
even
got
the
an
town,
update for you.
what's that?
11-11.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Here's
that's right.
the update. Here's the update, Nick. It shouldn't be much longer, and I should hear from that settlement case because I heard from them again recently. So that means I'm going to retire the truck and use it only to go to Paracons and buy a more fuel efficient vehicle.
Oh, awesome.
And then I'm going to make that trip and meet Jeremy. You know,
Oh,
so it
that's
might have to
awesome.
be something like an investigation.
Still got to get you to the Old Lake County Jail.
Because, you know, that truck gets quite expensive because of the engine that's in it.
Oh, I'm sure. So,
Truck is wall, believe me, I know.
just one more thing in case you guys want to check out more.
People
about this.
slow down though when we're driving the interstate. My wife gets a kick out of it. It's still got the thing on the back because it's like built into the truck. It says Police Interceptor Edition, you know, and it's still painted black and white. You know, it was a Waukesha cop. They used to be owned by Waukesha Police Department. They traded it into Ewald Molders or whatever that is out that way. And we went and got it, and then we decided, oh wow, wouldn't that be cool if we kind of decked it out and stuff? And so my wife did all this stuff with the Cricket. It's got "We Believe" on the hood, and you know, things like "Carry On with My Wayward Son" because of the supernatural, the supernatural movies. So
Yeah.
it's got that over on one side of the door, and then on the other side of the door, it's got "Wanted Dead or Alive," you know, the Bon Jovi song, and then it's got on the other side, on the back doors, it's over the back doors, it's got the InsaneAsylumPodcast.com, you know, and then I've got a big magnet with the logo and stuff that says Paranormal Investigators on it. So those go on the front doors. And then we got, you know, Bigfoot stick, you know, all kinds of things that my wife made out of vinyl because she's got a couple of Crickets, and, you know, so we kind of went all out, decking it out, and painted the hubcaps purple, and until the accident, because she got into an accident and they didn't put the original push bar, but we had the front push bar, you know, that's on all the police vehicles. We had that painted purple, but now that's gone because, you know, it got replaced after the accident instead of put back on. But oh well, shit happens.
Better than it being completely total.
Yeah. Well, they did that. The fucking insurance company did that to me. My wife, we got a 2013, 14, I don't know. It was 2000 something Avenger, Dodge Avenger. Beautiful car. Love driving it, right? And I don't like driving a lot of cars that are low to the ground, but I like driving that one.
That'd be a cool one to have.
Had it about a month. She hit a deer. Insurance company, the guy didn't even come out and look at it. They just, it's totaled.
Oh man.
Did the airbags go off?
So we didn't even we go back to the car dealership, but it's totaled, and we got all it, and we wanted another car. They wouldn't even let us look at the other Dodge Charger that was, or Dodge Avenger that was sitting there. We ended up with a fucking, what was that? A Ford Focus, small little tiny ass car,
Yeah.
and I'm 6 foot tall. You know, it's hard enough for me to get in and out of vehicles as it is. But then you add in, I've got chemo-induced neuropathy in my legs. So that makes it even harder sometimes. You know, so when they sit low to the ground or they're little cars, hard for me to get in and out of.
Yeah.
But pretty easy
Well,
to get out of the truck.
I got to get going pretty quick here. I have to.
Yeah, it's getting late.
Yeah, in fact, when I get off after this, because Josh, I know I messaged you about it beforehand, but I actually got to get back to working on a slideshow that I'm working on.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then not only that, funny enough, I actually have to do a show right after I'm done with it, a pre-recorded show that's going to be broadcasting tomorrow.
Oh,
for
nice.
Nice.
for the 22-hour events that we're doing.
Wow.
So I'm only a quarter of the way
Very
through.
busy.
So I'm
We
only
can wrap
a
it up.
quarter of the way through it. So I got to get back to work as soon as I get off.
Sounds good. We can wrap it up. It's been fun.
It's
Thank you,
been
designer,
great.
on all the subjects I wanted to, but we can jump into them next time. It's been a pleasure having anybody on. Do any of you guys want to pump your shows before you go?
I'm just happy to be here. Love you guys.
Yeah, this has been great. Good
nice meeting you
conversation. I learned
guys.
a lot. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Of course, obviously, for me and Joe, we're on the same network, so you guys can always
Yeah,
find us.
well, I've
things.
been on a hiatus too.
Yeah, well, that makes two of us, but that's, I mean, with my show, I do Nick Files, but for this occasion tomorrow afternoon, Nick Files is going to be making a brief comeback for the, just in case you guys want to know a bit more of what this 22-hour event is. It's called Mission for Healthy Heroes. It's like, like suicide awareness, like for veterans and whatnot, but not only just those who served in the military. That also includes like police officers, firefighters, paramedics, a lot of the important jobs. And even for those, and it's also not just restricted to the United States. This is something that's worldwide because we got a few shows from overseas that are going to take part in it. And it's also for those who are currently active too. In fact,
That's
one of the
cool.
shows I have that I'm going to be doing tomorrow alongside the one that I got to do is, and Joe, if you want to check it out for yourself, my uncle is actually coming on tomorrow on Supernatural Talk to talk with me, Jeremy, and Adrian, and Zach too, who's running the entire event. He actually served in the Vietnam War, and he's going to be talking about his experiences during Vietnam. So it should be a very interesting show. It's my first time. It's my first time ever on any of our shows on Things Network that I'm actually inviting a family member onto one of our shows.
You nervous?
Very cool.
I'm not nervous.
No, that's good.
But we already did tell them what to expect because, I'm sure we all know this before we begin a podcast and we have a new guest on, we usually talk about the way how it's going to work and whatnot. Unfortunately, because this is something that cannot be stopped or anything. It's like, once you come on, you got to be ready. So we already texted him about what to expect, how this is going to work. So he's all prepared. So that's all that matters.
Oh, I've been through that, man. I mean, I've done some of the Super Soldier interviews, and there's been some that went way off the rails.
Yeah, well, in this case, we're literally starting at like 4:00 in the morning tomorrow.
Oh, wow. That's early.
Yeah, that's why they're starting at as a 22-hour event. Plus, because it's also February 22nd. But thankfully for us, we don't have to start until about 11 o'clock a.m. in the morning.
All right.
So we'll
Okay.
definitely be up. But it's, no matter what show it is, it's one of those things, kind of like when you see with filming a movie. It's like once they start, it's like that message is do not stop. Literally, do not stop. So you got to keep moving with the programs.
Yeah.
Right. That's really cool of you guys to do.
It really is. This is our fourth year doing this. So they just issued a video advertisement. So if you guys want to check out, it's on the podcasting of for all coming together Facebook page. Of course, in addition, we're also on YouTube and Twitch as well. So you guys want to check it out, we'll be running it, and it's going to be a good event tomorrow. So it's a very important event.
Very cool.
Awesome. Any final words from anybody else?
Love you guys.
Thank
Have a good one.
you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you everybody for helping me come back. It's been a lot of fun. I know I've been on a very long hiatus. Great to be back in the rabbit hole again. Yeah, we're gonna hit some serious topics. The world definitely is kind of a shit show right now.
Yeah.
For all the people who are like, you're a tinfoil hat guy, yeah, I told you so. I told you so. Now look at the world. Yeah, I was right. Should have listened. So
it's fun.
It's been fun. We'll do it again real soon. Yeah, feel free to add me if you haven't. For anybody. So much love.
I'll have to find you guys on Facebook. I don't think we're Facebook friends, so I'll have to find you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm under my name.
Same thing under my name.
In fact, I'll do that as I'm logging out.
Hey,
All right,
y'all
bye,
have a
guys.
good night.
Bye.
All right.
Bye.
Good night.